Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I am Abe with MysticGenmara.com, a small town mystic from the middle of Idaho. And tonight, whenever you happen to be seeing this, I would like to offer the elemental energy reading for the element of air for February of 2025. Air covers the zodiac signs of Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. So if you're Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius, or have air high up in your charts, this reading is for you. If you have never had your charts read and you're curious, there is a link in the description to a natal chart. It's a really good product. It's one I use. I keep going back to it anyway. And it's super not expensive, and it gives you your birth chart with the 12 houses, all the little signs and symbols in it, and then 10 to 20 pages of a description of what all those things mean. It is super helpful. It also gives you your elemental alignment if you're curious. So, with that, we'll get started with our February outlook, starting with our I-ching, and I cast the hexagram before the video. In air, you have number 23, which is peeling off. Peeling off. At present, there is no goal or destination which can be sought with advantage. Basically, don't stress over things, don't get over wrapped up in the future events. Take things as they come this month in February. It's a short month, so air, this shouldn't be too difficult, just to kind of go with the flow is what I'm getting. So we'll start off with our foundational line down here. He starts the peeling off from the foot of the bed. There is no steadfastness, misfortune. So basically, you don't want to start things from, like, tearing things apart is what I'm getting. He starts by peeling off at the foot of the bed. There is no steadfastness, misfortune. There's no stability, there's no focus, there's no goal. So just jumping in and starting to do stuff right now without having those long-term plans at least getting to be formulated, is probably not a good idea in February. So our second line, he continues peeling off the edge of the bed. There is no steadfastness, misfortune. This is also saying you don't want to go jumping into these things without having some kind of idea. You want to get a little bit more clear, but right now they're saying that this is a little bit of a fuzzy time. And with no steadfastness, it also means you don't have support. It's a couple of different meanings going on here. And so in this one, jumping into something where you're not sure what direction you're headed and you don't have the emotional, physical, financial, whatever support you need, these are not going to be good things. So air, definitely a time to just pause, go with the flow, get some ideas, start building some concepts before we jump into stuff. Our third place line, he peels them all off, no error. So if somebody if somebody falls away because you are kind of hesitant to get involved in something that you're not supported in, or you don't have a set goal in mind, if people start falling away, that's their thing and they can do that. It says he peels them all off for no error, meaning if they happen to fall away because you're not willing to jump into something, but you're not supported, you don't know what direction it's headed, those people needed to fade away for the moment. They might come back later, that's fine, but right now, if you're not feeling supported and you don't know what direction you're headed, definitely just take a pause. So our fourth place line, he continues the peeling off at the mattress of his bed, misfortune. Really, this is where it gets into this. If you keep trying to get involved when it's not your place, things are not going to go well for you. This is a humongously cautionary tale this month, where you're usually good with getting involved and going forward and moving and taking stuff over. This is not the month for that for you. Observe, internalize, adapt, but don't get involved is what I'm hearing. So, our fifth place line, a string of fishes symbolizes the high favor enjoyed by maids in the palace. Everything is favorable. If things fall apart, as long as you're not involved, you're not blamed. Let them collapse under their own nightmare. A string of fishes symbolizing the high favor enjoyed by maids in the palace, meaning you are not the one in control, you're not the one pulling the strings, you aren't the one at fault. That's what they're saying, is the people around you, and I'm not sure who this is, but I'm hearing work related for some of you, as long as you stay out of the situation and the drama that's being stirred up, you're not going to be the one in trouble, they are, because they're stirring the pot but they don't know what they're actually doing. And that's where you have stepped back going, something's fishy here. I got to get away from this because y'all are about to make a big mistake. So, our capstone, the ripe fruit remains uneaten. The superior man will acquire a carriage, whereas the mean man will lose his house. So, the fruit remains uneaten. The rewards are still available to you. You were smart because you stepped back from the chaos. You stepped away from the just going and jumping into something and not knowing where you're going, or the work situation where they're all stirring a pot and you're like, no, I'm going to step over here. That sets you up as a superior person. They say man, it's gender neutral. So when you walk into that, you're actually saying, you know what, I'm going to stay away from you, but because I've stepped away, the universe sees that and is like, you're paying attention, good job. But if you got involved, that's where the mean man, the lower man, will lose his own house. That's where, if you would jump into the middle of that without stepping away, if you would have jumped in the middle of that without being aware of what was really going on, or at least being willing to observe and learn before you made those decisions, if you jumped in, that's where you fail. Lose your house, they're saying it could be losing a job, it could be something along those lines. So it's definitely better this month for our air family to pause, step back, don't get involved with drama, don't get involved with things. If follow your intuition, if you don't feel that you are supported, that there is an end game, that you can see where this is headed, obviously you can't see the full future, but you can tell where direction something is going. If you can't get a clear read on that, step away. If people get mad and fall away, that's on them. You're looking out for yourself this month, so it's a little harsh on that, but it's that icy heart that is going to help keep you safe and alive. Not like you're dying, but like alive in whatever situation. Like I said, they keep referring to work. So if your work's a little chaotic, just stay away from the chaos stirs. Let them deal with their own spoon. So we will hop over to the oracles and tarot. I read week by week. There are 4 weeks in February, and each week I look at a guide or a guardian, someone to guide you through the week or someone to guard you from any chaos that may erupt. A message from source, positive affirmations or reaffirming information to support you, and then a lesson or challenge from the tarot, just something to be aware of or something you can work on in a spiritual sense or sometimes physical sense to improve your mental, physical, emotional, etc. health. These readings are general, so take what works, leave the rest for someone else. And with that, we'll get started with your first week of February, and the Sunshine Yellow Dragon helps you to help animals, serving animals, heal, respect, and understand them. This is really saying we are not alone on this planet. It's not just humans, there's a whole bunch of us here. And when the Sunshine Yellow Dragon comes in, it's saying be supportive of everyone. Be supportive in the healthy ways. Don't enable. There's a huge difference here. Being supportive is I will encourage you along the path and I will teach you what you need to know. Enabling is here, just take this and I'll take care of you. You're not doing that this month. They're saying be supportive, but do so in a healthy way. And the Sunshine Yellow Dragon is coming in to say, this is a way for you to develop and build a really healthy inner circle if you don't already have one or you're not sure. Doing things like this where there's some where they reciprocate, I almost had the word, that way you can grow together and actually build a support system. And it's also saying this is where you start to see the people that may not have your best interests at heart, and it's a good idea to maybe separate from the pot stirrers and the drama mongers that might be starting to crop up right now. So your lesson or not lesson, your message from source is the Venusian Galactic Council, star being guides answering the call, and it's your time to shine. This is very much tapping into your heart chakra energy with your guide of the Sunshine Yellow, with these guys with the Venusian Galactic Council. These are really saying it's time to really step into your heart, really step into that intuitive, balanced energy, because the heart chakra balances the lower chakras with the upper chakras, the needs of the world with the needs of the spiritual. So you're in a really good place this month, Air, to just pause, observe, follow your inner guidance, follow that heart chakra energy. Do what you need to do to find that peace again. And if it's a little out of balance, if you're in a peaceful state, make sure you maintain that this month, because it's not worth getting into the drama. So, and I don't know why they keep bringing up drama, but my guides are being a little interesting today. Our lesson or challenge is the Prince of Summer: romantic, captivating, dramatic, and flirtatious. Falling in love suddenly, being swept off your feet, the need to stay grounded during emotional experiences. This is just a reminder, just like what the I-ching said, things are going to be interesting this month. You don't have to get involved if it doesn't feel stable, if it doesn't feel like there's a set goal, or if the destination, you can see it from a mile away and they can't, is not a good one. When you have the Prince of Summer, it's saying there's a lot of this urge to let your hair down and just run with it. That's not always a good thing. So it's a little bit of a challenge this first week in particular to keep yourself grounded, keep yourself stable, and keep yourself in balance. Because if you fly off and go do those sporadic things this month, that is not going to work in your favor. So your second week's guide or guardian is the Blue Dragon from the Pleiades. Prepares you to accept source healing, accepting a heart activation, giving and receiving heart healing. This is a month, as what we saw from the I-ching, and then from here so far, we're really working with this heart chakra energy air. So if this is not an area where you're used to working, or you're maybe a little uncomfortable with poking at that emotional state, because you tend to be in the upper chakras anyway, but this is a good time to check in with that. You're working with this energy of soothing, of cooling, but also of deep spiritual shifting and growing. And you don't usually do that through massive active movements. Some things are, but that's not usually the case. One of the martial arts things that I've studied for years says, in slowness there is strength, in stillness there is power. You are in a state right now where you're slowing things down a little bit, which is building some strength, but it's that still point where you're observing but you're not interacting, where there's true abilities to change your life and then shifting the direction of where you're headed. So the second week, you have the Blue Dragon from the Pleiades coming in to say, let's work a little bit more interior. Let's not worry so much about what's going on outside. Let those drama people have their farm over there. It's not in your best interests. So your second week's message from Source is the Central Sun: abundance, downloads, regeneration, success. And we have a scarab on here, so it's a symbol of rebirth, immortality, and also growth. The Central Sun is coming in to say, we are shining the light on you. It's a good idea to pause, reflect, and then prepare for things to grow. Abundance downloads means there are things coming into you that in this moment you may not be super aware of or connected into, whether that is downloads for financial improvement, career advancement, love, relationships. There's a lot of things that are connecting in. That's where we come into that still point of balance with the Pleiades Blue Dragons, because when we get into that state of calmness, stillness, and balance, it allows those downloads to click in faster. It also helps wake ourselves up to the fact of what those downloads could be. Sometimes it's just a feeling that you get. Other times you'll wake up from a dream dream state and be like, oh, well, that's an interesting way to look at life. And it gives you a different perspective on stuff. So pay attention to your dreams this second week, especially through the month anyway, but the second week, really pay attention to your dreams when you stay connected to your heart. They're saying a simple exercise before bed is, when you're laying in bed, just bring your attention to your heart chakra. See it vibrating a vibrant green or pink color. Feel that expansion from the heart and really embrace that as you drift off to sleep. That way you're in that still point and you're in that balanced connection. So your lesson or challenge from the tarot is the Eight of Spring. Stress that comes from having many things happening at once, successful multitasking, sudden events or changes. When you are in that still point, when you are stepping away from the chaos, it allows you to actually work in a much more healthy state. This is a lesson for this second week. You can still have your bazillion irons in the fire air. You love to do that stuff because it's intellectually stimulating and challenging, and you can do it well. It's also saying don't let sudden shifts in other people's stuff cause you to lose your balance. You have your own focus, stay with that. And if you're a little bit like, well, I finished that project, what am I doing now? This is where you can still find that still point, observe, and see where the next direction is. God Source Divine has a very interesting sense of humor when it comes to redirecting us on the next step, and that's what's coming in the second week. Your third week's guide or guardian, and you have a lot of interesting, you have a sun, you have the Pleiades, and then third week we have the green gold dragon from Sirius. So very much stellar energy coming in for this month too. Bringing in universal knowledge to your spiritual pathways, learn about spiritual technology, which is your chakras, energy healing, things like that. And be a transmitter of sacred knowledge. The green gold dragon is coming in to say we're bringing in spiritual energy. We're bringing it into a way to help you ground it, because it is time for some serious shifts. When we're working with this type of energy, I'm hearing that this is going to be, could be a little bit stern. It could be a little bit of a discipline in a fashion. Doesn't mean like bad things. It's more of like corrections or holding yourself to that capital W divine will, not our lower W moral will. But when we tap into that capital W will, that divine will, like it says in the I-ching, there's a point where you have to step away and let them collapse. Don't get involved with their stuff, because the maid had the fish and she was not the one in charge. She was not the one stirring the pot, so she was successful, where the rest of them collapsed in on themselves. And that's what this green gold dragon is saying, is the downloads that are coming in are going to help you separate from those issues, allowing the other people to collapse because they're not paying attention. You are, and that's allowing you to step away and not get involved. So let's take a peek here at our message from Source. And we have the ancestral realm, karmic releasing, healing the lineage, and boundaries. Air, you've always been good at setting up boundaries because you're able to multitask, and the only way you can do that is with really strict scheduling. This is saying your ancestors are actually supporting you and have been for a minute, whether it's physical bloodline ancestors, whether it is spiritual ancestors, whether it is business ancestors like the supervisors that you admire and are heading towards. They're all been supportive of you in a certain fashion. You're working through, by not getting involved, some karmic patterns, because they're saying that there was a time where you would have dove into whatever was going on because, yeah, we got this, we can do this, and then it collapsed. You've learned some lessons, and this is saying by learning those lessons and pushing back now and saying, I'm not getting involved in this, you're snapping karmic bonds to previous issues that have kind of stirred things up and caused a little bit of chaos. So this third week, you're getting that information from Sirius with the green gold dragons, but you're also understanding that you're breaking patterns that actually go back generation, not just within your life. So by healing and working through this on your own, you're actually healing the future and you're also healing the past, which is kind of an odd concept, but it does actually have a ripple effect because we never just work on ourselves. So let's see what our tarot message is for this third week. Number 15, the ego, which is a major arcana for this deck. The illusion of being trapped, placing too much importance on material items, and getting caught up in fear and worry. This is saying in this third week, your ego might pop up and say, well, we need help with that. There are things that we need to do. We. No. The ego is wanting to stir drama. They're wanting to get you into a situation where you lose control of the situation because you really didn't have control in that particular area. Whatever that chaos bubble is forming, you don't have the control. You are not in charge of it. Don't get involved. The ego is saying, oh, well, we need to be involved. There's things that people don't understand. That weirdo on the YouTubes, he doesn't know. I may not, but the guides do, and follow your instincts because you might be surprised by the urge that you get. Well, they're not doing this right. I can. You can't on this one. Other times, you're really persuasive, but in this situation, whatever is boiling up here, this is not for you to involve yourself. This is for you to observe and learn from at a distance. So, Our fourth week's guide or guardian is Kuan Yin's pink dragon, brings firm love that resets your karmic balance after you have to break those bonds. See all of your cords dissolving by transcendent love. Enjoy your freedom. Look for the divine all around you. I always think of a peppermint when I see this. But we're really talking about this beautiful healing energy. We're talking about when you have broken those karmic bonds, it can feel a little disconnecting at times, but Kuan Yin is coming in this fourth week to help settle the energy. She's coming in to anchor down what's happening so you're not flying, kind of flailing around like a kite without a tether. This energy is coming in, this pink dragon energy is coming in to bring that down so that you're more connected and grounded in yourself and not so much worried about what's going on with other people. You've learned the lessons. This month is going to be a pretty big growth month for you, Air. Whether it's a conscious growth or it's a subconscious growth, there's going to be some things happening where you shift in ways that by the 1st of March, you look back and you're not the same person you were in February, like significantly. So, your message from Source is the Holy Grail, inner discovery, finding sacredness. You are what you seek. Kuan Yin's energy really ties in with this one really well, because this energy is saying we're healing after that third week of intensity of breaking some bonds, setting some boundaries, processing and clearing out some karma, which is all healing stuff. She's coming in to say now we can soothe it, because the Holy Grail is saying you have passed the test. You have passed beyond the issues at hand. You have stepped into a much higher frequency, a much more happy, peaceful, and expanded, creative a place for yourself. This is shifting a lot. It's going to be in that one drama point where you stepped away and you saw them collapse and you were like, oops, good thing I stayed out of that. But they're also saying there's a ripple effect with this. The Holy Grail is coming to a point where you're understanding the sacredness within yourself, within your relationship, within your financial situation, career, jobs, all that stuff. You're starting to see that karmic balance, that karmic play of the web is so much greater than what you originally thought. And this Holy Grail energy is coming in saying, you are the healing that is going to ripple out. Your fixing of things this month within yourself, within your bubble, are actually going to help show, possibly even trigger other people in their healing, because the Holy Grail is about ascending, it's about growth, it is about positive expansion, and that's where you are headed, Air. So let's take a peek at the tarot for the last lesson or challenge. We have the Two of Winter. Indecision is holding you back. Make choices that are best for you rather than pleasing others. Feeling trapped between intellectual and the emotional. So Air, when we get to the last week, your lesson that you can work on this month was about settling down, quieting. Don't get involved. Don't get overzealous in rushing into something. But this last week, the lesson is, now that you have seen what has occurred, how are you going to plan your next steps? The Two of Winter is saying it is time for you to connect heart to brain, and really see where you want to go. You've watched what didn't work, and by that you've actually broken some patterns in your life, which is healthy. Now it's time to see, well, now that I don't have that mess going on and I'm not involved in that, where do I want to go? And that's where you can tap into Kuan Yin and that Holy Grail energy and really focus on, okay, where am I at? Where am I headed? What is my soul's desire in this moment, which is finding that through stillness and meditation, whether that's journaling, physical meditation like Tai Chi or yoga. This last week is going to open up the next steps for you, and this is where you get more into your comfort zone with intellectualizing, but keep that heart energy open as well, so that it's not just an intellectual game. You can tie it into your emotions, which allows you to expand at a much greater rate. So with that, Air, I will leave you. I hope this reading resonates for you. If you enjoy this type of content, hit that subscribe button, drop a like on the video, and comment down below. Let me know your thoughts, feelings, and impressions. As long as we're respectful, that's all we can ask for. With that, I will let you guys go. Have a great month of February.